Tehran, the majestic capital of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The only country with a Shia Muslim government in the whole world, where Shia Islam directs the laws and governance system. Stay tuned as we explore life in its historic capital Tehran. The media has portrayed the city as suffering from imposed strict religious laws. It has been characterized as a city in a continuous struggle against westernization and modernization. But be told, the city is far much westernized than what the media say. Tehran is the most populous city in Iran and Western Asia. It is also the second largest metropolitan area in the Middle East after Cairo of Egypt, and the 24th most populous metropolitan area in the world. It has a population of around 9.4 million in the city, and 16.8 million in the metropolitan area. Various theories on the origin of the name Tehran have been put forward. One theory says the word Tehran in ancient Iranian languages meant the warm place, suggesting Tehran was so named for being a warm place. Another theory is that Tehran derives from the word Tehran, which means the abode of Turs, a Zoroastrian god worshipped in the area. The official City of Tehran website, however, says that the Tehran comes from the Persian words Tars meaning end, or bottom, and Rana meaning slope, literally meaning the bottom of the mountain, which sounds a more plausible theory given Tehran is located at the foot of the Alborz Mountains. First time Tehran is mentioned in history is in an 11th century chronicle as a small village north of the city of Ray, which was the capital of the Seljuk Empire. However, archaeological evidence from Ray shows human settlement in Tehran began as long ago as 6000 BC. The city of Ray declined in importance following internal conflicts and a Mongol invasion of the year 1220 which devastated the city. The survivors of the Ray massacre fled and settled in Tehran. This became the starting point of growth of Tehran, and gradually, this village, which had been famous for its fine fruits and beautiful gardens, underwent new developments. By the 13th century, Tehran had grown large and prosperous, attracting the attention of the Safavid Shah, Tahmasp I, who built a bazaar and a gated town square in Tehran in 1554. The town walls included 4 gates and 114 towers. But Tehran had still not been made the capital. Under Tahmasp I's successors, Kazvin was made the capital, transferring from Tabriz, which was too close to the Ottoman Empire border for comfort. Tahmasp I's successors added more buildings to Tehran, turning it an important trade center. An English traveler in 1628 reported that the city consisted of 3,000 houses. In the early 18th century, Karim Khan of the Zand dynasty ordered a palace and a government office to be built in Tehran, but later chose Shiraz as the capital. After his death, Karim Khan of the Zand dynasty was replaced by Qajar ruler Aga Mohammad Khan. Aga Mohammad Khan captured Tehran and made it his capital in 1786, and that's how Tehran was chosen as the 32nd capital of Persia. He chose Tehran as the capital because it was close to Iran's Caucasian territories, and because it was away from rival factions loyal to previous rulers, which were in the previous former capitals. It has now been the capital of Iran for more than 200 years. Since then, Tehran has grown from a small city to a major metropolis it is today. From the 1920s to the 1930s, under the rule of Reza Shah Pahlavi, the city was essentially rebuilt from scratch. Several old buildings, including parts of the Golestan Palace, were replaced with modern buildings influenced by classical Iranian architecture, particularly the buildings of the National Bank, the police headquarters, the telegraph office, and the military academy. Changes to the urban fabric began with the Street Widening Act of 1933. The Grand Bazaar was divided in half, and many historic buildings were demolished and replaced by wide, straight avenues, and the traditional texture of the city was replaced with intersecting streets that created large roundabouts in major public spaces such as the bazaar. As an attempt to create a network for easy transportation within the city, the old citadel and city walls were demolished in 1937 and replaced by wide streets cutting through the urban fabric. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Tehran developed rapidly under Mohammad Reza Shah. Modern buildings altered the face of Tehran. The city is located on the steep southern slopes of the Alborz mountain range, which traces an arc along the coast of the Caspian Sea in northern Iran. The highest peak of the range, Mount Damavand, has an elevation of 500-600 meters and is visible from Tehran on clear days. Mount Damavand is the highest point in Tehran and higher than any other peak to its west in both Asia and Europe. The southern parts of the city reach the Kavir Desert, which is located in north-central Iran. The northern parts of the city stand at an altitude of 1,700 meters, while the southern parts of the city have an altitude of 1,100 meters. Tehran has a semi-arid climate. Summers in Tehran run from June to August and are hot and dry with an average high temperatures of 93 degrees Fahrenheit and occasional extremes of 104 degrees Fahrenheit. In June, July and August temperatures around 104 degrees Fahrenheit can be recorded almost on a daily basis. Winters run from December to February and are very cold with temperatures falling below freezing and rarely peaking above 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Snowfalls in Tehran, however, have become rare due to global warming. Most rain falls from November till April, after which precipitation figures rapidly decrease and temperatures rise. The annual precipitation of the city averages 230 millimeters. The weather of the city is cooler in the northern hills than it is in the southern lowland areas of the city. The city has a population of around 9.4 million and 16.8 million in the metropolitan area. As the country's administrative center and largest job market, Tehran cannot help but keep growing in size. The city is densely populated with an average of 1.6 people per room in the houses across the city and 11,800 residents per square kilometer. 75% of the people living in Tehran identify as Persian and 63% of the residents were born there. Iranian Azeris form the second largest ethnic group of the city, comprising about 10 to 15% of the total population. Ethnic Mazandaranis are the third largest group, comprising about 5% of the total population. Tehran's other ethnic communities include Kurds, Armenians, Georgians, Bakhtiaris, Talish, Baloch, Assyrians, Arabs, Circassians, and Jews. Tehran is home to diverse ethnic and linguistic groups from all over the country and from neighboring countries such as refugees from Afghanistan. It is one of the most ethnically diverse cities in Asia. The present-day dominant language is the Tehrani variety of the Persian language. 99% of the residents in Tehran speak and understand the Persian language. 13% of the residents also possess a degree of proficiency in certain European languages. In Iran, it is illegal to be non-religious or an atheist. The majority of Tehranis are officially Twelver Shia Muslims, which has also been the state religion since the 16th century Safavid conversion. Other religious communities in the city include followers of the Sunni and mystic branches of Islam, various Christian denominations, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, and the Baha'i faith. Zoroastrians, Jews, and Christians are the only religious minorities legally permitted to worship and form religious societies. All laws and regulations of the country are based on Islamic criteria and official interpretation of the Sharia. Islamic law governs the political, economical, and human rights. Since the 1980s, Islamic government has imposed a mandatory dress code that required all women to wear the hijab. Breaking the Islamic laws will result in Sharia punishment such as amputations, flogging and stoning. Proselyting or attempts by non-Muslims to convert Muslims to another religion will result in a death punishment. The law prohibits Muslim citizens from changing or renouncing their religious beliefs. Tehranis celebrate Iranian festivals along with regional and Western festivals. The popular ones are Nowruz, Chahar-Shanbe Sui, Sizdah Bidar, Yule Night, Valentine's Day, and Halloween. Nowruz is the Iranian New Year or Persian New Year and usually coincides with a date between the 19th of March and the 22nd of March on the Gregorian calendar. Customs for the festival include various fire and water rituals, celebratory dances, gift exchanges, and poetry recitations, among others. Chahar-Shanbe is celebrated on the eve of Nowruz. Chahar-Shanbe means Wednesday and Suri means both red and celebration. In this red celebration, which takes place on the last Wednesday of the solar calendar, people go out and make bushfires and keep them burning till the next morning. This is symbolic of burning all that was bad, pain, unhappiness, sickness, and worry, and looking forward to a new beginning. Sizdah Bidar is an Iranian festival held annually on the 13th day of Farvardin, the first month of the Iranian calendar, and the first month of spring, during which people spend time picnicking outdoors. Yule Night is celebrated on the 21st or 22nd of September. The Yalda festival celebrates the longest night of the year, at the end of which light triumphs over darkness. The following day is the day of harvest and the beginning of the rest period, a time for family to converge at the home of the oldest member and indulge in a spread of Iranian food, summer fruits and an array of nuts while reciting poetry and catching up with what is happening in each other's lives. You may want to know the entertainment that Tehranis treat themselves to after a day at work. Going to the movies is a preferred leisure in Tehran. The Iranian cinema is recognized as one of the most innovative and exciting in the world. Films from Iranian directors continue to be screened to great acclaim at international festivals. Comedy is the favored genre by the Iranian cinemagoers. The film directors obey the restrictions imposed by the Islamic authorities. The restrictions are that men and women must not touch each other, women should wear hijab headscarves, and alcohol cannot be shown on screen. Film goers get treated to very few foreign movies, such as those from Hollywood, and such movies have to be approved by the censorship authorities. Western movies regarded as inappropriate to Islamic values are banned or heavily edited. People can still watch any movies of their choice, as they can buy DVDs from the market or from the internet, with the use of VPN of course. Music is another beloved pastime in Tehran, and attending concerts is a popular activity. There are several concert halls in the city. The government imposes censorship and restrictions on music that is regarded as not Islamic, immoral or politically subversive. This of course includes most rock, pop and hip-hop music. Musicians, producers and organizers must obtain permission to hold a concert from the Ministry of Culture and Islamic Guidance. Singers of unapproved music therefore can't get permission to hold public concerts. Prior to every concert and every album release, lyrics, texts, pictures and participating individuals have to be inspected and approved by the censorship authority. Both performers and audiences are prohibited from dancing during concerts. Solo female artists can only sing to a female-only audience. All band music and Western music can be purchased as DVDs from the market or from the internet. Public entertainment venues like bars and nightclubs are banned in Iran. Alcohol is also banned in the whole country. This leads people to socialize in cafes and restaurants around the city. Reading is another cherished hobby in Tehran. There are a number of book cafes around the city, providing a cozy environment to enjoy a good book with a cup of coffee. Major social media platforms such as WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, YouTube are banned in Iran, along with thousands of websites such as HBO, Blogger, Netflix. However, since the platforms are very popular, people still access them using proxies and VPN. The government has been trying to make the purchase and sale of VPN illegal recently. From the outside, the dress code of Tehran appears strict. The stereotypical image of Iranian women always wearing a black chador is far from the truth. Iranian women have a keen sense of fashion, choosing colorful and stylish outfits while still adhering to the dress code. Following the Iranian Revolution in 1979, Islamic laws were put requiring women to wear hijab. In Islam, hijab means modest dressing, specifically covering the head. At the beginning, most women used to wear a chador, a long piece of black cloth covering whole body from head to ankles. Later on, most women wore manto, a long coat, instead of the chador, and covered their heads with a shawl. Nowadays, Tehran women wear short mantos or mantos without buttons over a shirt and jeans or long skirts with colorful head shawls. Women are obligated to wear hijab in public. They should wear a tunic, loose sweater or manto long enough to cover the lower waist. The sleeves must reach the elbows and the legs must be covered until right above the ankles. Wearing jeans, leggings, ripped jeans, and loose skirts and dresses is allowed. Women have to cover their hairs with a headscarf or shawl. It is acceptable to show the front part of your head and wear the shawl halfway, as many Iranian women do. Women can wear any color of clothes as long it's not see-through. There are no restrictions on footwear, and women wear high heels, sandals, etc. depending on personal preferences. Tattoos, painting nails and wearing makeup is allowed. Men can wear any type of clothing except for shorts and sleeveless shirts. You may want to know what kind of food the Tehrans eat every day. Tehran has a rich culinary tradition that has been shaped by centuries of history and cultural exchange. Persian dishes are some of the best in the world. The dishes are often a combination of rice or bread with meat, salad, beans, nuts, fruits, cheese, and yogurt. Because of the use of herbs, spices, and flowers, Iranian dishes are aromatic and have vibrant colors. From lamb stews to crispy samosas, smoked fish to kebabs, there is a wide range of delicious delights. A typical breakfast in Tehran can be a combination of flatbread smeared with butter, cheese, sarshia, jams, and spreads. This will be taken along with a cup of aromatic Persian tea. A lunch typically consists of a balanced mix of meat, beans, vegetables, herbs, dairy, nuts, and fruits. They are always served with rice or bread. Stew over rice is by far the most popular among them. The dinners are pretty much the same as the lunch. It is a mix of fruits, vegetables, and poultry which are commonly had with rice or bread. Tehran has a vibrant sports scene where various modern sports are widely followed and passionately supported. Football is by far the most popular sport in Iran. Istiklal and Persepolis, the two biggest clubs based in Tehran, boast huge fan bases and a fierce rivalry, often culminating in the highly anticipated Tehran derby. Volleyball, aerobics, basketball, futsal, physical exercise, and wrestling are also major parts of the city's sporting culture. Tehran is the site of the National Stadium of Azadi, the biggest stadium by capacity in West Asia. Tehran is considered to have the most modernized infrastructure in the country. It is a modern city of high-rise buildings that you have to look very hard to spot a historic building. Previously a low-rise city due to seismic activity in the region, many modern high-rise developments in Tehran have been built in recent decades to service its growing population. 6 main fault lines and as many as 60 minor fault lines run across Tehran, underneath numerous high-rise buildings. The last earthquake in Tehran occurred in 1830. Experts say Tehran experiences an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.0 on the Richter scale every 150 years. Since the last time Tehran experienced a strong earthquake was over 190 years ago, the city is indeed overdue for a big one. Some historic buildings still remain from Tehran's era of antiquity. Most of the city's historic architecture has been replaced by the wave of modernization that swept the city in the last 40 to 50 years. The remaining buildings of historic architecture are government offices and residences of the royal elite. The city has a historic north-south divide, with wealthier residents living at higher altitudes in the north and poorer residents in lower-lying areas in the south. The northern parts of Tehran are more modern, prosperous with large shopping malls, international restaurants and luxury hotels. The southern parts are more rundown and home to massive bazaars and historical buildings. The city has over 60 modern shopping malls. The Iran Mall is the largest mall in the world by area. As one of the best shopping malls in Tehran, it boasts an impressive array of offerings, featuring over 500 shops, a remarkable 200 restaurants, a family entertainment center with a covered amusement park, a museum, art galleries, a permanent car showroom, an Iranian bazaar, and not one, but 3 hotels. The Tehran malls cater to diverse tastes and provide popular brands like Mango, Adidas, Reebok, and Jeans West. Elite international brands such as Mont Blanc, Chopard, Tag Heuer, Fratelli Rossetti, Trussardi, Van Laak, Rohe Jewelry, and Ermenegildo Zegna are also on sale in the various malls in Tehran. Tehran is the economic center of Iran. It hosts about 45% of Iran's industries and houses about 30% of Iran's public sector workforce. Men are the primary economic providers. Most women have traditionally not worked outside the home, although an increasing proportion have begun to seek paid employment outside the home. The country's economy is heavily dependent on oil, and headquarters of one of the world's largest oil companies, NIOC, is located in Tehran. Tehran's present-day modern industries include the manufacturing of automobiles, electronics and electrical equipment, weaponry, textiles, sugar, cement and chemical products. Few foreign companies operate in Tehran nowadays due to the government's complex international relations, but there used to be many before the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The Tehran Stock Exchange, however, has been one of the world's best-performing exchanges in recent years. You may find yourself struggling to name any companies from Tehran. This is because the Iranian economy operates differently from Western countries' economies. 85% of Iranian economy is governmental and the private sector is weak and very small. Brands are generated in competitive, creative environments, which are not present in Iran. So there are large companies in Tehran which have no widely known brands. Even the oil and gas industry, with a proud history going back 113 years, offers no effective brands. The largest companies, because they don't have brands, are not well known outside Iran, and even inside, have no positioning or personality. Most American brands are prohibited in Iran. Fake name brands for US companies exist though, like McDonald's for McDonald's, ZFC for KFC, etc. Brands from Europe and the Far East are present in Tehran, such as Sony, LG, Samsung, BMW, Benz, Hyundai, Unilever, Volvo, Renault, Philips, Peugeot, Mitsubishi, L'Oreal, Siemens, Panasonic, HP, Epson, and others. The 5 biggest companies in Tehran by annual revenue are Imeli Bank Holding, $9 billion, Kalihe Fast Petrochemical, $8 billion, Mellat Bank, $7.9 billion, Gadir Investment Company, $7 billion, Iran Khodro Automotive, $6.8 billion in revenue. Tehran is one of Iran's leading tourism destinations. With a long history and boasting impressive 400-year-old monuments, Tehran is a must-see destination for tourists. The city serves as the starting or ending point for most Iran tour itineraries. It is filled with a variety of tourist attractions, including palaces, museums, parks, and historic landmarks. Popular tourism destinations are the Golestan Palace, Nayavaran Palace, Saadabad Palace, Tehran Grand Bazaar, Bazaar of Tadrish, among many others. The city is also home to some of the best museums in the Middle East, with as many as 50 to choose from. The most popular ones are the Crown Jewels Museum, the Carpet Museum, the Time Museum, and the Museum of the Islamic Period. There is also the Museum of Contemporary Art, which hosts works of artists such as Andy Warhol, Pablo Picasso, and Van Gogh. A number of cultural and trade exhibitions take place in Tehran, and many of them are popular events for tourism. The Tehran International Book Fair is known to the international publishing world as one of the most important publishing events in Asia. In 2016, Tehran received 1.64 million foreign tourists. The direct tourism contribution of Tehran to the GDP of Iran was $3.7 billion in 2016 and is forecast to be $5.6 billion in 2026. Tehran also receives a lion's share of the medical tourists visiting Iran. Iran attracts 1 million medical tourists annually and generates about $1.2 billion annually from medical tourism. Low-cost medical procedures, highly qualified surgeons, and high-quality medical facilities make Iran a favored destination for many international medical tourists. Cosmetic surgery in Iran costs about 1/3 the price it will cost in the US. People who come to Tehran for treatment are mostly from neighboring countries like Iraq, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Pakistan. The Azadi Tower is still the main symbol of Tehran for many people around the world. This magnificent monument was built in 1970 under the reign of the Pahlavi dynasty. It was built to commemorate the 2500th year of the foundation of the Imperial State of Iran. This tower was designed based on a combination of Achaemenid, Sassanid, and Islamic architectural styles. It consists of several halls, libraries, museums, and galleries. Milad Tower, located in the northwest of Tehran, is Iran's tallest tower and the world's 6th tallest telecommunication tower. With a height of 435 meters, Milad Tower can be seen from everywhere in Tehran. It consists of a revolving restaurant, closed and open observation decks, galleries, Museum of Iranian Fame, exhibition halls, a dolphin park, and a conference center with 15 halls and a number of movie theaters and cafes. Tehran, like all major metropolitan cities, has a subway system. The metro is the easiest and fastest way to travel in the city. It is the biggest metro system in the Middle East and also has the cleanest train carriages in the whole world. The metro began working in 1999. It operates from 5:30 to 11 p.m. local time every day of the week. A trip of any distance on the metro will cost you about $0.10. That is cheaper than the cheapest trips in New Delhi, India, which costs $0.15, or Mexico City, which costs $0.23. The metro transports about 2.5 million people daily. Seniors ride for free in the subway. Men and women can travel mixed in all the carriages except the first and last carriages, which are dedicated only for women. So if you are a man, don't enter the first and last carriages. The bus system consists of conventional, trolleybuses and bus rapid transit. Conventional buses have served the city since the 1920s. The trolleybus system was opened in 1992 and was the first trolleybus system in Iran. The bus rapid transit system was officially opened in 2008. It transports 1.8 million passengers daily. In buses, the custom is women sit at the back of the bus and men sit at the front. A ride on the city bus will cost you around $0.02. A central railway station links Tehran to Europe and with other cities in Iran. The railway trains operate 24/7. Tehran has more than 200,000 taxis on its roads daily. You can use a private taxi or make use of shared taxis. In shared taxis, you share the taxi with complete strangers who will be going same direction as you and share the cost. Tehran has its version of Uber called Snap, which you can use to hire a taxi online. Snap began operating in 2014. Motorcycle taxis are the taxi of choice to beat congestion. Tehran was designed to have a capacity of about 300,000 cars, but more than 5 million cars are on the roads. So congestion is expected. Motorcycles can swerve between cars and pedestrian zones as a way to avoid traffic and get you to your destination on time. Just remember to wear a helmet. The municipality has been promoting biking as means of transportation. However, it is not chosen by many people due to the extremely cheap public transportation and very cheap gasoline, which makes it much more efficient to use your car or motorcycle. A liter of gasoline in Tehran will cost you less than $0.10. Many people therefore prefer the comfort of driving their own cars, despite the traffic and lack of parking space. The most common types of cars you will see on the streets of Tehran are Pride, Samand, Tiber, Peugeot 206 and 405 and the Tundar 90. These cars are produced by the two biggest local car manufacturers in Iran, Saipar and Iran Khodro, which are all headquartered in Tehran. There are lots of bi-fuel cars, which can run on compressed natural gas or gasoline in Tehran, and Iran has the world's largest fleet of such vehicles. Tehran's rich and wealthy elites, like in all cities world over, drive supercars. The city is a big market for high-end luxury and sports cars from Europe and the United States, despite international sanctions. Benz, BMW, Maseratis, Ferraris, Porsches, Lamborghinis and Rolls-Royce, you can find them roaming the wealthy suburbs of Elahiyeh and Fereshta in Tehran. According to The Economist Weekly, Porsche sold more cars in Tehran in 2011 than in any other city in the Middle East. We would like to hear from you. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe.